Hey guys, Troy Francis coming at you from Lisbon in Portugal. So how many girls or women should a man be intimate with in order to gain the necessary experience to navigate the modern dating marketplace? Well, Myron Gaines of Fresh and Fit fame is on record as saying that a guy should sleep with 50 women. All right, 50 women probably before settling down, but certainly before he can say, okay, right, I've got a fundamental understanding now of the dating marketplace and how it all works and female psychology and how women work and so on and so forth. I think that's gone up slightly. Inflation has affected that figure because I think, from memory, when Tom used to talk about this, Mr. Torreira used to talk about this, he used to say 30, and now Myron is saying 50, so it's gone up a bit. But nevertheless, it's the same sort of principle, which is basically that a young man, certainly before he gets into something very committed, or certainly before he gets into God forbid, gets into a marriage, he needs to have that degree, or a degree of experience approaching something between the 30 and the 50 mark with women before he even risks going into that kind of situation. Okay, so what is the truth about this? What's my view on this? I think they're about right, to be honest. And the reason why is not because I'm gonna sit here and be an apologist for unabashed hedonism and decadence. Well, actually, fuck it, I am. That is kind of what I'm an apologist for, actually. But no, I mean, it's not entirely about that. It is basically, look, I mean, you, as a young man, I certainly, speaking for myself, I was incredibly naive, actually about a lot of things, but I was certainly incredibly naive about women and the way that relationships with women work, okay? And it was only really after many, many years of experiences and learning and talking to other guys as well, and swapping experiences, swapping stories and so on, but mainly through my own experience, that I was able to understand how things go down. I think back now to like, the first, sorry, just get past it. I think back now to like the first girlfriend I had. My first proper girlfriend really was when I was like 20, and I was and she was an attractive woman, right? I mean, I got together with her, she was an attractive girl, coveted, other guys fancied her, they're like, oh, how the hell did you get with her, everything else. Great, right? And for the first couple of months, it was brilliant. But the reality is I had absolutely no idea. I had no clue what I was doing, right? I had absolutely no idea. And I had no idea about female nature. I had no idea about how to conduct myself in a relationship. I had no idea really about what women found attractive. And also as well, I made the classic mistake, which I think most guys probably make on some level, which is thinking once you've got her, right? Once she's attracted to you, you guys are together, you're in a relationship, whatever. We were just boyfriend and girlfriend, but still, we got to that stage. I think the guy kind of thinks, all right, Kyle, well, I've done my job now, I can relax, okay? And you see this in marriages as well, don't you? You see this in marriages where guys are like, right, okay, job done, I've got the wife, I've got the white picket fence, now I can relax, okay? Now I don't have to worry about any of that nonsense again. I don't have to worry about being attractive or any of that stuff because I've already got her, and so I can relax now and I can drink a Bud Light and I can watch the game and just, it's all good. And of course the reality is, as Mr. Tomasi has said, there is no respite from the sexual marketplace, okay? There is no respite from the vicissitudes of the sexual marketplace, and a very cruel mistress she is too, all right? So, you don't get a get out of jail card just because you've got a girlfriend. I mean, certainly just because you've got a girlfriend. You don't get a get out of jail card just because you've got a wife, all right? Now, I'm not saying, remember gentlemen, nuance, for God's sake, I'm not saying that, you're with somebody, look at this thing, it's pretty cool. Look at that thing. This is like giant elevator thing. I'm not saying that, you're with somebody and she's going to be scanning continuously, and then as soon as some Chad comes along, she's just going to go off with him immediately, and you know, them hoes ain't loyal and all that stuff. I mean, I'm not saying that, because look, I mean, that it's not as extreme as that, but nevertheless, you know, the reality is that men have to maintain status in order to remain attractive, okay? It's a bit like, you might feel like if your wife got super fat, you might be less attracted to her. That may cause a problem for you within the relationship, perhaps, all right? Well, it's kind of the same thing the other way around. If you get super fat, that could be a problem for her, but also if you lose frame, you know, if you become, you know, you lose some aspect of whatever it was that first attracted her to you, okay? It could well be that she starts to lose attraction for you, and then I'm not saying then she goes and cheats immediately. It's not like some kind of automatic algorithmic thing, but you know, she's the luster starts to erode a little bit. She starts to look around a little bit. Maybe some guy at the gym flirts with her. Maybe some guy at work flirts with her or whatever. And then all of a sudden, you know, she's considering and she's thinking, well, Troy's okay, but, you know, Steve in accounts, I mean, he's pretty hot, and he kind of, the way he looks at me, you know, and then, you know, and you're on a slippery slope, okay? And this is even, and remember, again, the Rollo stuff, you know, hypergamy doesn't care. You may have been together for many years. It doesn't really matter, okay? Because this is all based in feelings, all right? This is not about shared history. It's not about the nostalgic kind of sentimental stuff. It's about how does she feel now, okay? So, as I say, and these are the things that you need to consider. Now, I was completely unaware of any of this all those years ago when I met that first girlfriend. I had no awareness of this at all. So I just thought, oh, she's cute, she really likes me, you know, we're having great sex, it's all good, happy days, you know, that's it. Now, actually, what happened was, and also I was kind of super needy as well. It was kind of weird, actually. I mean, I always used to have this weird combination, this weird duality of being, on the one hand, quite needy, but on the other hand, always very conscious of my desire for other women. So, of course, I would look around, and I would, you know, look at other women and stuff like that. But I wasn't really, because I was so inept at that point with the dating and the attraction stuff, I wasn't really capable of, you know, meeting another woman very easily. I mean, I'd sort of lucked out with her to some extent. And I talk more about this in my course, Cat Academy, actually, about exactly what happened with her, because it was largely about my sort of change in attitude that I managed to attract her. But it wasn't yet a process that I could repeat easily. And she would on some level be aware of that. So she knew I kind of didn't really have options. So I might have been looking around a little bit, but I was also kind of needy with her because she was super attractive, and I didn't want to lose, you know, that first woman who'd really paid me any attention or wanted to be with me. And so it was just this really messed up thing. And also I was losing frame. You know, I'd probably forgotten those things that initially made me attracted to her, or those things were starting to erode. And yeah, you know, not very long. I think we stumbled on for about 6 months, I think, in the end. But, you know, in the end, she basically ended up dumping me. I think she had cheated as well. Cheated, whatever, you know, I think she played away before the end. And that was it. And it was really, really hard for me to, you know, to sort of, you know, it took a long time to get over that, even though it had been quite a short relationship. It was kind of my first, took a long time to get over that. And then after that, I kind of went into this really 2 decades long period of unabashed promiscuity, more or less, well, not entirely, but, you know, for a long time. And I swore to myself I would never let this happen again. And it kind of didn't really, or it sort of, there were other incidents with other women, but they were never quite as bad as that first one, because I had learned something. But the point is, as I went on and I dated more women and I was in different experiences, different types of relationships, different kinds of encounters and things, I started to really see under the hood, if you like. I started to really see the mechanics of the dating marketplace. And this is the stuff that I now teach, right? You know, and there's guys in my Telegram group, we talk about this stuff, I'll give my input and everything. And I can teach it to an extent because I can describe the way things are. I can describe things that have happened to me. I can share stories about things I've experienced, things I've seen, and guys can learn from that. But in the end, I do think that you really need to experience it for yourself as well, okay? Because otherwise it's all secondhand, and it's really strange. There's so much nuance in a lot of this stuff. And this is one of the problems with the Red Pill and so on in general, that there's so much nuance with this stuff. And guys, you've got, on the one hand, a topic where there's all this nuance and all these different layers of meaning and different layers of experience and so on. And then on the other side, you've got a bunch of guys who are normally like hyper rational and hyper logical. And they're just like, oh, right, so if you're not a Chad, she's going to cheat. Oh, okay. And, you know, and it's like, bro, it's not this logical, it's not this equation. You know, it's not X plus Y equals Z. It's far more complex than that, okay? And the only way that you really get to see through the matrix, if you like, is by experiencing it for yourself, and, you know, through years and years of experience. Now, again, because now we've got the internet and we've got people who make content about this, myself included, and who have communities where we discuss this stuff, myself included, Telegram group below, you know, you're in a far better position than I was when I was younger, because there was none of that at the time. And you might have a few friends or, you know, male relatives and stuff, usually pretty naive themselves, and so their help may not have been that great either. So you have got a huge leg up from where it used to be, but still you need to experience this stuff for yourself, okay? So I would say yes. I mean, I think, particularly if you're a young guy, and maybe even if, well, depending on what your age or what your objectives are, but certainly as a young guy, you do need to get out there and you do need to be dating, certainly before you sign up for anything like marriage, okay? I think that's the key thing. I mean, yeah, you can have a girlfriend if you want, because, you know, whatever. I mean, you know, it's not gonna be life-ending, you know, if you have a girlfriend and things don't go so well, for the most part. But certainly, before you sign up for something serious like marriage, I would say, yeah, I mean, something like the 30 to 50 that these guys are talking about, it's probably about right, in order to ensure that you really understand what's going on. Because the truth is that most guys don't, and a lot of guys, sadly, despite all this content, are pretty clueless about this stuff. And that's not a value judgment, it's just that, you know, we're not really taught this stuff in the mainstream anyway, and you know, you need to be aware. So that's my 2 cents on this anyway. Do please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Drop me a like, put a comment below. Get on the Telegram group, the link is below. And also, if you want to discuss your dating life, the particular issues that you might be having with me, then you can jump on a free call. The Calendly link is below. I'll see you guys again very soon. Bye-bye.